Hey everyone, what if I told you that in the last 24 hours, the entire economic balance of power in North America just shifted? That a single announcement from Ottawa has sent shockwaves through Washington, Detroit, and boardrooms around the world? That's exactly what just happened. Prime Minister Mark Carney, yes, you heard that right, has just pulled off one of the most audacious strategic countermoves in modern trade history. And it's a direct, deliberate, and devastating response to Donald Trump's America First tariffs. This isn't just a policy shift. This is a declaration of economic independence. This is Canada saying, enough. And the blueprint they've unveiled, a $2.3 billion automotive strategy, doesn't just protect their industry. It actively rewrites the rules of the game, potentially leaving the US isolated and scrambling. Stick with me because today we're diving deep into this $2.3 billion chess move. We'll break down the details, uncover the shocking conditions buried in the fine print, and explore what this means for your car, your job, and the future of the entire global auto industry. This is more than a trade deal. This is geopolitical judo, and Canada just used Trump's own momentum to throw him off the mat. Let's set the scene. For decades, the Canadian and American auto industries were inseparable. It was the textbook example of symbiotic trade. Parts would cross the border 6, 7 times before a car was finished. It was a deeply integrated, highly efficient machine built on trust and mutual benefit. Then came the Trump era, the tariffs, the unpredictable threats, the constant weaponization of trade relationships, the USMCA or CUSMA, whatever you want to call it, was always held together with duct tape and tension. The threat of its collapse, of Trump just pulling the plug, has hung over the industry like a sword of Damocles. It created uncertainty, and in business, uncertainty is poison for investment. Canada watched this for years. They watched investment decisions get frozen. They saw the vulnerability of having their entire industrial strategy hinge on the mood of one man in Washington. And they decided never again. So, while Washington was, well, being Washington, Ottawa was planning. And what they announced isn't a tweak, it's a full scale paradigm shift. The centerpiece is a $2.3 billion automotive transformation fund. But the genius and the brutality is in its design. This fund isn't just a subsidy, it's a fortress and a magnet combined. Its goal is twofold. First, to instantly insulate the Canadian auto sector from the chaos of U.S. trade decisions, as the document puts it, and second, to aggressively attract the future of automotive manufacturing away from the United States and to Canada. But the real masterstroke, the detail that made my jaw drop, is the reintroduction of EV rebates. On the surface, it sounds simple. 5,000 for a new electric vehicle, 2,500 for a plug-in hybrid. Great. More EVs on the road. But look at the conditions. To get that rebate, your vehicle must either be made in Canada or imported from a country with which Canada has a free trade agreement. Think about that for a second. Under this rule, if you're in Canada and want a $5,000 discount on a new Ford Mustang Mach-E, that Mach-E had better be built in Ontario, not in Michigan. If you want it on a Chevrolet Bolt, it better be from Ingersoll, not from Lake Orion. This is a direct surgical strike. It uses consumer incentives to create an instant, powerful market pull for cars built in Canada. It tells automakers, you want access to these motivated, subsidized Canadian consumers? You better be building the cars here. And in one fell swoop, it makes cars built in the US less competitive in the Canadian market if tensions escalate. It turns every Canadian EV buyer into a de facto agent of industrial policy. Let's talk about that $2.3 billion fortress. This money is a war chest designed to do three critical things that the U.S., under its current trajectory, is failing to do: provide certainty, stability, and strategic direction. First, it's a massive signal to global capital, to investors in Tokyo, Stuttgart, and Seoul. Canada is now saying, we have a plan. We have stability. We have government-backed capital ready to co-invest with you in the factories of the future. You won't wake up to a tweet that upends your billion-dollar investment. This is in stark contrast to the whiplash-inducing policy environment south of the border. Second, the fund explicitly aims to protect and grow the sector. This means not just protecting existing assembly jobs, but actively capturing the entire supply chain: the batteries, the semiconductors, the rare earth minerals processing. Canada isn't just trying to assemble cars, it's trying to become a holistic, clean tech automotive ecosystem. They're looking at the Inflation Reduction Act in the US and saying, we can do that, but with more predictability and open trade partnerships. And that leads to the third point: global realignment. The document makes it clear Canada is ready to prioritize its own economy, attract investment from Europe, Asia, and other global markets. This is the blockbuster geopolitical takeaway. For 75 years, the North American economy was a closed loop, with the U.S. as the undeniable sun. Canada is now prying open the blinds and saying, hey, Europe, hey, Japan, hey, Korea, we have skilled workers, clean energy, political stability, and a huge market. Come build here, let's make a deal that doesn't involve walking on eggshells around Washington. This is a direct invitation to decouple, at least partially, from the U.S.-centric supply chain. And in an era of friendshoring and de-risking, that offer is incredibly attractive. But Canada isn't just building an attractive paradise. They're also fortifying the walls. The document outlines two defensive measures that are so bold they border on economic brinkmanship. Measure 1, the 25% counter tariff. The government has pre-authorized a 25% tariff on U.S. auto imports if the USMCA collapses. Let that sink in. They're not waiting. They've already passed it. It's on the books, ready to snap into place the moment Trump or any future president tries to blow up the trade agreement. This isn't a threat. It's a preloaded cannon pointed across the border. It's a message. If you choose chaos, you will not get free access to our market. You will get a 25% tax, we will defend our workers, and it will cost you. Measure 2, the tradable import credit system. This is, in my opinion, the most innovative and potentially revolutionary part of the whole plan. Ottawa is consulting on a system where access to the Canadian market is tied directly to investment in Canada. Think of it like a modern, more sophisticated version of the old Auto Pact. Here's how it could work. To import a certain number of vehicles into Canada, a manufacturer might need to earn credits. How do you earn credits? By investing in Canadian R&D, by building battery plants in Quebec, by hiring engineers in British Columbia, by using Canadian-made steel. If you don't invest, you lose your access. It directly ties market share to economic contribution. This is the absolute antithesis of Trump's zero-sum, tariff-only approach. Trump thinks a wall and a tax will bring jobs back. Canada is building a gateway. But the toll is tangible, job-creating investment. It's a positive-sum framework. It says, we welcome you, but you must build with us. This system could become a model for other mid-sized economies dealing with predatory trade partners. The reaction has been instantaneous and telling. Canadian unions are elated. They see a government finally wielding the full power of the state to defend manufacturing jobs. Environmental groups are cautiously optimistic. The EV push is strong. but they'll be watching the details on emissions and sustainability. But the real reaction is in global investment circles. A signal has been received. Canada is open for business on its own terms and is no longer a passive satellite of the U.S. economy. Money that was tentatively looking at the U.S. despite the political risk now has a compelling, stable, English speaking rule of law alternative right next door. This has profound implications. 1. For the U.S., it faces the potential fragmentation of the North American production bloc. The unbreakable alliance is now breakable. The U.S. could find itself isolated, with its own tariffs rebounding back as its closest partner builds new bridges to Europe and Asia. 2. For the global auto industry, it creates a massive new competitive node. The race for EV dominance isn't just between the US, China, and Europe anymore. Canada just entered the ring with a unique value proposition. 3. For geopolitics. This is a landmark moment. A core US ally, a member of the Five Eyes and NATO, has formally announced a strategy to economically de-risk from the United States. It's a quiet but powerful endorsement of the global sentiment that America, under its current political paradigm, is becoming an unreliable partner. The era of automatic U.S. economic leadership in North America is officially, unequivocally over. So what happens now? Trump is shocked, but this isn't just about one man. This is about a structural change. Canada has played its hand brilliantly. They used Trump's aggression as the justification to build a more resilient, more globally connected economy of their own. They've shown that in the 21st century, economic power isn't just about size, it's about strategy, stability, and smart incentives. They've turned vulnerability into opportunity. The world is watching. Other nations are taking notes. The $2.3 billion on the line isn't just money, it's the seed funding for a new North American economic reality. The auto jobs, the investments, the supply chains, they're all being rewritten as we speak. What do you think? Is Canada's move a brilliant act of self-preservation or a risky provocation? Could this model work for other countries? And what should the U.S. response be? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this deep dive into the new economic Cold War fascinating, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. We're living through history, and I'm here to help you make sense of it all.